Hey everybody, Regina Andler here, and welcome to Coffee with Regina. And today I have with me Megan Nolan, all the way from sunny Hawaii. I think it's sunny there. Isn't it always sunny in Hawaii?
Pretty much.
Megan, Megan's amazing. So we actually have a theme this week going of self-care, and Megan is like the self-care maven, and she helps busy entrepreneurs basically find their self-care. We talk about being overwhelmed all the time, and there's overwhelm in all different areas. She helps women who are overwhelmed with their, self-care and taking care of themselves. She has like these really cool, simple solutions, easy to implement things that you can put into practice every single day to find some time for you. So, welcome, Megan.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Great to be here.
I'm so excited to chat with you today because I know you have so many different programs going. You have so much cool stuff. I watch your videos. I check out your reels. I don't know if you know that I kind of like troll you all the time because I'm like, oh, that's a really cool one that she put out there.
Thank you.
So,
I'm
oh
flattered.
yeah, I follow all of your stuff. I do look at all of your emails and everything because I was like, oh, really cool tips. I love that.
Awesome.
It's just amazing the stuff that you have. I think, as a entrepreneur myself, you get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. And I mean, I don't know about you or about anybody else that is watching or listening to this, whether it's live or replay. Have you ever had that, you get to 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you realize, wow, I've been sitting at my desk since 8 o'clock this morning and I haven't stopped yet. And you haven't really thought twice about it. You just kept going and going and going. And all of a sudden it's 3 o'clock and you're like, oh, is the day over yet? Because you never took time for you, you never stopped, you never did anything, and chances are pretty good you maybe didn't even start your day off right. I mean, that overwhelm happens. You have a whole system so that not only do you start your morning right, you keep your whole day like really going in this great flow. So tell us, because we're all dying to hear, what do we do to get rid of all of this overwhelm and take care of ourselves for once? What do you do, Megan?
What do I do? Well, I help people get out of that self-care overwhelm because the reality is, like you said, there's so much to being able to run your business in a very aligned way, being able to show up vibrantly, confidently, energized, all of those things, right? And with a mile-long to-do list, it can be really a lot for people to not only be able to show up, as I just mentioned, but to be able to get everything done. Because our brain likes to tell us, we got to go, 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 get started, make it happen now. Come on, come on, come on. And that really contributes not only to your stress, but your inability, your difficulty with being able to show up from that place of integrity with your core values as your most aligned self, your most energized self, the clarity that you want to be showing up with to serve your clients and your community. Because when we get kind of hijacked by that go, go, go of the brain and we don't start our day with intention, it can be very easy for you to just go to the desk and sit there. I can hear an echo. Can you?
I can't hear an echo on my end.
Okay, no worries. So the reality is that most people sit way too much, and when that happens, we tend to get into that really weak and rounded, painful posture. So that's why I'm such an advocate for starting the day with movement, starting the day with taking some time for yourself, for your mind, your body, and your spirit. Because as a personal trainer, a yoga instructor, and a mental fitness coach, I believe that in order to be truly successful, you do actually need to be healthy and happy. Because, yes, there's a whole section of success revolving around your finances. And of course, that's really important.
Hold on, I just started hearing an echo. I'm not sure where it's coming from. So I wasn't hearing it a second ago, and then all of a sudden I started hearing it. So I don't know if there's something on your end, my end, or what.
Okay.
I guess we'll just keep running with it, I guess. So
Okay.
it didn't sound too bad. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear you okay.
Yeah, I agree. So really important is that you are your body is taken care of. And so the way that I help people to do that is by creating what I call a purposeful powerhouse practice to start your day with, so that you are really starting from that place of connection to your vision, thinking in alignment with that vision, with that version of you that you see as your true self, your higher self, your most aligned self, being able to think in alignment with that vision, and then move into a really strong, confident, grounded, energized posture, because we all know everything is energy, right? And that's what it comes down to, is how you're feeling, the energy that you are showing up with and from, so that you can create the best content. You can be energetic and magnetic on your lives so that you can serve your clients at the highest level. Because when we sit all day, that in and of itself, we could talk for hours about the impacts of sitting, but that in and of itself can really drain your energy, causes stress, causes all sorts of aches, pains, maybe weight gains, but it can be a whole host of issues. That's why starting your day with that intentional practice is so, so empowering for people.
Yeah, I've heard it told that from a physiology standpoint, our bodies aren't meant to be sitting all day long. We aren't built that way, and yet we do it anyways.
Exactly. And that's a rather recent development, when we started to use computers and phones as much as we do, that involve us, for the most part, sitting down. And humans are really do better when we're moving, because then energy is moving, right? In yoga, we call that energy prana. Martial arts, it's called chi, but it's your life force vitality that's moving through your body, through your blood, through your breath, right? But when we sit, everything kind of settles and slows down. And
Right.
when that happens, your metabolism slows down, your blood pressure goes up, your breath changes because you're slouched over the keyboard in the ouchy slouchy posture, I call it. It's difficult for you to breathe well. And so it causes all sorts of issues. The modern reality tale, I call it, of sleeping booty and the 7 sneaky symptoms of sitting too much, ouchy and tighty and groany and nummy and all those things, cranky mainly. So yeah, it's a real issue, and we can laugh and talk about it, but it's associated with metabolic disease, all sorts of diabetes, and potential other issues. Sitting, not so good.
You say we laugh about it, and it is a serious thing. However, just to get people to engage and do something about it, making it humorous to go into. I love that, the 7, the 7 grouchy, the 7, whatever you call them. It was
The sneaky symptoms of sitting too much,
the
all
7
caused
sneaky
by the
symptoms, yeah.
evil villain of ouchy slouchy. So ouchy slouchy is weak posture, and
Yeah.
it really happens so quickly. And for some reason, when we hold our phones, we hold them down by our belly buttons. I don't know why. We just do. We just hold them down here, right? Like, look how much I'm collapsing. You can't see my phone, but look how much I'm collapsing with that. Whereas this simple, very simple, just lift your phone up a little higher. Let's start with that.
So there's a great tip. Instead of having your phone down here, have your phone up here, so at least your head's up, and your whole body, your whole posture is more in an upright position.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great tip right there. I did want to go back to something you said when you were first getting into everything that you do, and you mentioned about how you show up and your energy when you show up, and it's a real thing. A lot of us, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're working for someone else and you're going into meetings all day long or whatever, and you're sitting and sitting and sitting, it really is true that as the day goes on, if you don't do something and if you don't pay attention to this stuff, your energy lowers, and other people notice that. I mean, our energy is felt by other people. We feel the energy of other people. So if we're spending all of our day sitting, and then we get to the point where it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we've been sitting all day, and we go into the next meeting, the people that we're meeting with are not getting the best you. They're getting a version of you that's tired and slumpy and ouchy grouchy, the down, it's so, I mean, this makes a lot of sense for showing up, like you said, the confidence and everything else. And I know you and I are both standing right now. We both have our stand-up desks. So, and I talk about that all the time, because I spend part of my day standing, some sitting, some standing, depending on what I'm doing. However, I mix it up so that I'm not slouched over all day long. I do find I'm actually more focused, clear, and motivated when I'm standing.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that
Yeah.
has to do with energy flow, right? Like we were speaking to earlier, when we sit down, if these are your legs and this is your torso, we quickly go like that and see how this is your spine has just collapsed. And so it's harder for energy to flow throughout your body, and especially up to your brain up here.
Right.
And so when we are in strong posture, whether that's sitting down or standing up, there's energy flow throughout your body, which of course includes your brain. And so when you are breathing properly, right, when you're in that upright position, you are breathing properly, which shows your body that you are in a safe state, and it activates different parts of your brain, right? So when we are in that rounded position, even just try it just for a second, like let your shoulders roll forward, put your hands in front of you like you have your hands here, and just try to take a deep breath. And then
Right.
let's not stay there because it's not nice. And then if you sit back up and try again, do you feel the difference?
Absolutely. It's much clearer going through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So what happens when we slouch is that your vital lung capacity drops by about 30%, which is significant, right? So when your lung capacity is diminished because you're scrunched over and it's hard for your diaphragm, which is the muscle that goes all the way around the bottom of your rib cage, to move easily and breathe fully, then the backup team has to kick in. And the backup team is already doing something really important and holding up your head because you're in that weak rounded position. So they're already taxed. And so they don't breathe well in and of itself. But when they're already working hard because they're holding up your big old noggin, you know, we all have one. So it's anywhere between 8 and 12 pounds. So it's, you know, of varying weights, but it's heavy. Then that backup team is not very effective at breathing well. So you take short and shallow breaths because it's not easy to take a full breath. So when you are taking that breath short and shallow, you're triggering stress. So you're triggering stress whether you feel stress or not. So your brain is like, uh-oh, something's wrong. What's happening? We activate the stress part of your brain called your amygdala, which is where we have our fight or flight response, which is not the part of your brain that is higher functioning, creative, patient, inspired, aligned. That's not the part of your brain. That's a different part of your brain that you activate when you're in that slow, steady rhythm, when you're calm, when you're grounded. That's your prefrontal cortex. That's the higher mind. So even just if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, okay, here we go. Third meeting in an hour. I gotta get up. Even just go to the bathroom, or if you feel comfortable doing it right over where you are, is move yourself back into strong posture, roll your shoulders back, and kind of take that power stance that we see, like Wonder Woman, Wonder Person, as much upright and open as you can, and take a few really long breaths in and out. And that will begin to shift your inner state, affecting your nervous system, which shifts your brain activity. So that's just really a potent way for you to just quickly reset.
Yeah, so that's a really good tip before you go into any meeting. I know I do that before I go and do any lives or anything like that. Yeah, I did it before I got on with you here. I mean, I get up, I stand up, and I kind of reset myself, and it's like, okay, get yourself ready here, and I can feel the shift in my body when I do that. It's like you said, it's like all of a sudden I feel more confident. I feel more secure than than I was if I'm sitting down, and it does make a huge difference. So just going into a meeting or whatever you're doing, just to get up and do that makes a lot of sense.
It does, right? And it's something that, sometimes we're looking for these big fancy strategies, but really that's something like that that's so simple, it's so profound. And I mean, ancient wisdom traditions like varying martial arts and yoga, like that's what they've known all along, is that your body affects your mind and your mind affects your body. And so if you change the position of your body, then you're able to access different parts of your mind and different parts of your being, so that you are showing up, right? Yeah, just keep it simple and have these little tools in your back pocket that are actually quite profound and actually quite effective because of all the science we just talked about there. But it's such a different energy, right? Because your body language communicates so much about how you're feeling, not only to other people, but mostly to you, right? And your posture communicates to your brain, because more nervous system signals it's hard to say, go from your heart to your brain than in the other direction. So there's more information going up to your brain from your body. So the more you're aware of how you're holding your body and how you are showing up, right? So that's a key element of the Purposeful Powerhouse, is showing up from that place, being aware of how you're holding yourself, what your focus is on, where your attention is, because that's going to directly impact how you show up, right? It's a very different experience when somebody walks onto a stage or what have you, or into a meeting, and they walk in and they're just like, oh, what's going on? Versus somebody that walks into the room who's ready and they're excited to speak to you, and it's a very different energy that they present with, right? And so just think about that very, very subtle difference that I just showed you there. But not only is that going to affect how people respond to you, how you feel, which is really ultimately the most important thing, but it's going to really directly impact how the whole thing plays out.
Yeah. And, even when you were just doing the little example of the walking in, I remember in corporate world days just dreading going into the next meeting. And, I was in upper management. And so I'd go into the next meeting, I got a team in front of me. I go in and sit down and be like, all right, let's get going. And it's like, thinking back now, I was so anxious ridden,
Mm.
was having anxiety attacks. This is why I left corporate world in the first place, because it was just so taxing on me. I didn't know these tools and tricks that we have now, and the stuff that you're talking about. I didn't know that. And so I walked in with that energy. I was the one walking in the room with the, all right, let's get this done. Let's
Mhm.
move on. Let's get this done and get out of here as fast as we can. And the tone of voice, everything is just
Mhm.
nothing. Nowadays, it would be like, all right, here's what we got. Let's get going. And you even have the smile on your face. And the smile, brings those feel good chemicals out and everything. So
Mhm.
just that whole energy shift is a huge thing. And I think
Mhm.
most people just aren't consciously aware of their energy to a point where they're like, huh, I can shift my own energy by just doing something really simple. And that's why I put the keep it simple. When we say keep it
Mhm.
simple, sweetie,
I figured.
keep it simple, sweetie. And,
Sweetie.
I know you have like these really simple things that you can do. I mean, if somebody's waking up in the morning, what would be a really good, just a tip, just one thing to do when you get out of bed in the morning, or even before you get out of bed in the morning? What is a good tip for somebody to do just to get their energy, you know, primed for the day?
Yeah, there's one that I learned from, a man named BJ Frog. Fog? Fog or Frog? BJ. His book is called Tiny Habits, and he called it the Maui habit because he learned it from someone here, and it is so simple, and it's such an intentional decision, because what you're speaking to and what we're talking about is that intentionality of the decision. And it might seem simple, but it's one of those things that you can do and see how it plays out for you. And he calls it the Maui habit of the decision that today's going to be a great day. And so when you put your feet on the floor for that very first time every day, stating that to yourself,
Mm,
and whether you believe it or not, that's a different story, but it's making a commitment to starting the day from that perspective. And it's a really powerful shift, right? And you're having that intentionality behind, this is a new opportunity, right? We call it the present, it's a gift, all that stuff that we hear about. But it really, because when we go to sleep, it kind of wipes the slate clean as far as your brain activity, because you're doing all sorts of healing. And we can either go defaulting back into what you were in yesterday, or you can make a decision that you're going to take a totally different perspective today, right? And so that's a powerful one. So we can start there and then build on that.
I love that. I mean, that's when I teach the same things about, I teach mindset as well. And, the thoughts are things, and the words that you speak and the words that you think make a difference. So when
Mhm.
you get up and just say, today's going to be a great day, like you said, yeah, automatically, I call it the blob, the subconscious. The blob is going to go, yeah,
Ah,
seriously, you think today's really going to be a good day? Because it's like programmed to
mhm.
to counter you. And so, you can get up and say, no, today's really going to be a good day. And I teach people too. It's like, tell the blob to take a hike. It's like
Mhm.
when the blob all of a sudden you say today's going to be a great day, and you're like, there's a part of you that goes, "Oh, I kind of hope it's going to be, but I don't really know, and I'm not really sure," because it automatically sets in. Counter it with a, no. You know what? Today is going to be a great day because I want to make it a great day, and that is what I'm choosing to do. And when you first get up, that's a really good conscious decision to make, and then you start moving from there. Now, you start, keeping that energy going. And I know the stuff that you have is, and the stuff that you do with your clients and such, it's stuff to keep you moving. So it's like, it's one thing to get up and say, today's going to be a great day. All right, I got that. And then it's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, there's a whole day to go through. And during the day, there's going to be ups and downs because, life is life, and, stuff's going to
Mhm.
happen. And it's how you choose to move through that makes the difference. And I know you have all kinds of different things in play. So I'd love to hear in the time we have, some of the stuff that you have that you share with people, and that kind of thing. So, because I know you have a time limit today. So, want to get in some of the stuff that you teach so that folks can check you out.
Absolutely, I love that. Yeah, so what I really help people to do because of the importance of your energy, your mindset, your body, your posture, everything that we've been speaking to is really have that very intentional start to your day, which I call the purposeful powerhouse practice. So tapping in and living and moving and breathing and thinking on purpose, which can start to seem like, "Woo, that's a lot of things." Actually, it's not, because as we've been speaking to, your mind, when you begin to use it as a tool, you're thinking on purpose. When you move your body in a way that keeps it strong and healthy and energized, that's very intentional and purposeful so that you can show up on purpose, right? And so what I help people to do is create a mini morning routine around that. And keep in mind, this can be stretched out for as long as you want it to be, or it can be literally the 2 minutes when you're standing there and brushing your teeth, if that's all you got. Okay. So don't let the time stop you, because even just have it, yeah, keyword mini, right? And so 3 steps to it. And it really is very intentionally designed, because the first step is connecting to your big vision, expanding the vision for what is possible for you. So asking yourself the key question, right? We want to learn to ask better questions. Where am I going? What is it that you're focusing on? Who is the you that is in the vision, that higher self, that full potential, however, wording you want to have it be, but the you that you really are,
Hmm.
the you that you really want to show up as. So that's the first element. That's the first question. Where am I going? So that's what you can ask yourself. Not physically, I'm not going to the grocery store and then I'm going to work. Where are you going as far as your intentional focus of the top of the mountain, or the finish line, if you will, for your goals? Then, from that place of knowledge and connection, who am I being? Right? Who am I being? How does that version of you press live and go into the Zoom room or walk into the conference room? Like, how does that version of you show up? Because that's what we want to start to cultivate and practice today. So keep in mind, this can be done as yoga, exercise, dance, whatever. Or if you're sticking to the 2 minute window while you're brushing your teeth, how does that person stand? Right? How do they hold in and draw up a little bit, find that confident posture? So you're activating that within yourself, because if you're going to go and sit in the chair all day and you go right into that ouchy slouchy posture, that's not it. So we want to hold that strong posture so you know it in yourself, so you can connect back to it like that. And then finally, from that place of presence and connection with yourself, the final question is, where am I going? Right? Wait, no, did I ask that already? Yes. Where am I going? Who am I being? What am I doing? Yeah, that's the final question. I'm like, wait, that wasn't right. Um, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so that's where we want to have the intentional decisions, right? How you're showing up is very important. What you're doing is very important. But the being, doing the doing is really, really key, right? And that's the essence of the inner shifts of mindset work and embodiment. And so creating a mini morning routine around those 3 questions and around those 3 key pillars is so, so powerful. And so I know that we have a little special gift that is really all about that, a mini morning routine. And like I said, you can stretch it from, 30 seconds to hours if you want it to be. And it doesn't have to be done at 5 a.m. to be a morning routine. It doesn't have to be anything that doesn't work for you to be a morning routine, right? Because we see and we hear about all these, the giants of industry doing it a certain way. No, do it in a way that works for you. That's the most effective way. That's the one that you're very likely to continue when it works for you and it feels good for you. So you have the framework there inside that awesome resource of the mini morning routine. So I know we'll be sharing the link with everybody so you can grab that. And then that way, we'd love to hear, how does it go for you? Do you have any questions about it? You can drop those in the comments here. I'm happy to connect and give you some suggestions. And then that way you can begin to start your day from that place of presence within yourself on purpose so that you're showing up from that place of intentionality and alignment.
So I put the link into the comments, so that'll be in there for everybody. And I want to tell you that for the number of times that we've chatted, and I know you've also, we work together, you've offered a bonus on my program as well that we work with. So, all of the stuff that I've seen from you, I actually just had like a major aha moment for my stuff. When you said brushing your teeth, when you said that, I was chuckling a little bit because I realized I brush my teeth like this over the sink. I'm always bent over. And I was like, and as soon as I thought about that, I was like, how many other things do you do like that? And all of a sudden, like 5 things popped into my head. I was like, you know what? You need to be more intentional about being upright. And because you just do them, it's habit. I'm not thinking twice about it. I just automatically do it every single day. So when you're more intentional about what it is that you're doing, then all of a sudden, you can make that difference. And it does. It makes a huge difference when you're upright. So thank
It
you,
does.
because I just had a major aha moment there.
Well, and that's beautiful awareness, right? And that's something for us all to take in because that's really what all of this is awareness. And that's the essence of the yoga practice is awareness, learning to watch yourself in your patterns and your habits. Like we were talking about the old mental habits of, oh, whatever, it's not going to be a great day. It's going to be crap. It's like, how can we catch ourselves in those old patterns, not old patterns, but those patterns. And how can you make them a bit more intentional? How can you cultivate a little bit more presence in everything that you do? Because here's the beautiful thing about it is that it adds up, right? And every time you practice that, then you're creating a new pathway for yourself and a new potential pattern, a new potential habit, not just in the way that you're holding your posture, but actually also in your brain at the deepest core level of your little brain cells. So it's really powerful when you catch yourself, right? And it's little things like that are really cumulative from as far as from a brain health perspective. I mean, that's a whole other track we could go down, but just having these new little opportunities to practice that curiosity, right? Become more present in your day-to-day life, because that stuff like that is so powerful in your overall stress level, which then of course increases your immunity, keeps you healthier, more energized, all of it. It's like that's the holistic approach to life and to business and to success that I'm so passionate about. So I love that you got those little nuggets for yourself. So I'd love to hear how that goes when you start brushing your teeth in strong posture.
Yeah, I'd love to hear anybody else who comes up, whether watch us on replay or you're catching it live out on one of the platforms, wherever you are. We want to hear, did you get, any little aha moments of your own out of this? Because, it really is. It's all about bringing it to your conscious and getting it out of the blob so that you're not automatically doing something. And, energy is energy. And it's true. When you're up, your energy flows. And so, it makes a huge difference. I want to thank you for being here. I want to just mention in your free mini morning routine, I'm assuming there's some contact information or wherever they go for that, so that, or do we need to add some additional contact information for folks, or is that good?
No, that's fine. Yeah, grab the mini morning routine and then we'll be connected by email and you can ask any questions directly. And there's lots of other great resources that will come along with that mini morning routine. And then of course, anytime you want to drop any questions in the comments below and tag me, that I'm happy to chat there, but directly you'll be able to reach me by email after you grab the gift.
Oh, I love that. Megan, thank you so much for being here today. I know we could talk for hours on this stuff,
Right.
and we won't today. And so I really appreciate your time today. And I know you got a busy schedule yourself, so I'll let you breathe and get ready for your next thing this morning. It's morning for you. and then we'll go from there. So thank you so much for being here. Thanks for all who are catching this live, and also for all of you who are catching it on the replay. Join us next time for Coffee with Regina, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Thank you.